bureaucracy's basement to your ears. This is the weekly meeting of the Queen City Improvement Bureau. Each week, the dedicated staff of the Bureau meet to file reports, make recommendations, and survive on water that drips from the boiler pipes into our open mouths as we sleep on a bed of dot matrix printer paper. Maybe one day we'll escape from the subterranean hell that is this basement, but until that day comes, the city is not going to improve itself. So, here we stay, improving things. This meeting is now in session.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
Greetings.
Yeah, how you doing?
Oh, could not be better.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why?
Much improved.
Okay.
Yes.
Over last time?
Over last time.
Okay.
I went out for a nighttime walk.
Yeah.
Found a bottle of antidepressants.
Oh, nice.
And they were expired, so I just took the whole bottle at once, and I've been doing great ever since.
Congratulations. You lucky guy.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there was that time I found some deli meat, like on the City Hall property, that was expired too, but it didn't work out as well.
No, I can imagine that would be a bad idea.
Yeah, no, I did not feel good. So, meds, yes. Meat, no.
Good advice.
Thank you.
For everybody.
Yeah, I think all of our listeners should take that to heart.
Yeah. So people have pointed out that, I can be grumpy. And so I got told.
Who said that?
Hey man, settle down, go outside, touch grass.
And?
So I did. And it was on Sunday, I do believe. It was miserable. It was cold and damp. This, like, water falls from the skies, but not like the nice, warm, bath-like water that drips from the ceiling of the sub-basement.
Oh, we all love that.
Icy, cold water just falling from the skies onto your body.
Nature was a mistake. We all know it.
100%. And I just ended up more miserable. So my best advice is do not touch grass. Stay indoors.
I know. I hear you. I tried that once. Turns out it was a porcupine.
Ooh. How did that go?
Not poorly.
Yeah?
For me.
Yeah?
Porcupine seemed fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, no, I ended up with some quills in my hand.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, did you keep them?
You bet.
Good.
Yeah. No,
Is that what you're writing with?
Yes. And also, you think this is a toupee? Actually just glued some porcupine quills to my head.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
Reusing.
Exactly.
Nature.
Use what nature gives you.
Yeah. They're big freaking animals,
They're huge, actually.
It's kind of scary.
No, genuinely. The first time I ever saw a porcupine in the wild, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, that looks like a gigantic, it's like a wombat-sized creature. Wombats are also quite big, just for scale.
Yeah.
I realize it might not be a useful comparison.
Especially if you're not from Australia.
Exactly.
The Australians were like, oh, no, I totally know what you mean.
All the Aussies listen to us. They're like, oh, a wombat, eh?
Yeah, now I get what a porcupine looks like.
It's like a prickly wombat.
Yeah. Does it have square poops?
Do wombats have square poops?
They do. Wombats totally have square poops, yeah.
Or cubic poops.
Cubic poops, yeah.
I guess, they're three-dimensional.
Yeah.
So that'd be weird.
Yeah. A cube is just an overachieving square.
Yes. Imagine a one-dimensional poop.
Oh, I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really. It's kind of, it strains the mind. You ever read Borges's short story, Odin's Disc?
No.
Okay, I'm going to take you through this real quick.
Don't spoil it for your listeners.
No, I'm going to spoil it for them. It's been out for a while.
Okay.
A man's on property. He meets a traveler.
Yeah.
Traveler is shabby, but he says, I am the king of the Norse, I think, is what he says, because I have Odin's Disc. And Odin's Disc is an object that has only one side, and he carries it in his hand. And he sort of opens his hand, and the narrator sees a little flash of light. And he's like, wow, I'll buy that from you. How much is it worth? He's like, yeah, I'm not selling it. It's Odin's Disc. And he stays the night, and he goes to leave. And the narrator as he walks away, the narrator goes up to the guy and knocks him on the head, wanting Odin's disc. And the guy falls, opens his hand. He sees a little flash of light hit the ground. And then he says, I immediately cordoned off the area and began searching for Odin's disc. That was many years ago. I have been searching ever since.
Oh.
I like that story.
That's a good story.
Yeah, it's nice and short.
It's sad for the guy.
Sad for the
guy.
guy.
Commits murder and he doesn't get Odin's disc.
I think there's some sympathy also for the guy who got murdered.
I suppose.
I think, yeah. Although, really, you don't go around showing people Odin's disc.
Yeah.
Like, that's just asking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just showing off.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my story about Odin's disc.
That's a very good story. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And that was Bedtime Stories with the Queen City Improvement Bureau.
That's right. Weird stories about one-dimensional objects.
Yeah. Should we do attendance? Because I don't think we've done that yet.
Right. Let's get this one out of the way quick. I'm Aidan. I'm here. You're Paul. You're here.
Yeah, that is all true.
It's true. I mean, maybe one day we'll get back on the anagram train.
Yeah.
Or NERTA. That's an anagram for train.
That's very funny.
That was a very low effort joke. Like really, really, really low effort.
Do we have quorum?
No.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, one day. Well, there's a water cup here and a guitar. Well, we'll get to that.
All right. So first item on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
The 2024 municipal election update.
Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, so it's happening still. And it's official. Like, they're now taking paperwork from people and their money.
Paperwork?
So they're like, the candidates are now becoming official candidates. Because up until now, they've just been, saying they're running.
Mm-hmm.
But are they really running? We don't know. But David Loblaw has taken every person's announcement seriously and is maintaining an excellent list at drloblaw.com/regina-2024.html.
.html, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you go there, you can see like the full list of all the candidates who've declared thus far. And you know what? There has not been a huge amount of change since the last time. So I'm going to work from Ward 10 down this time.
Okay.
Ward 10 is still Chris Simi, Clark Bizot, Anita Adefuye, and we don't know if the incumbent Landon Mole is running yet.
Okay.
It's getting late, Landon.
A little late. Late Landon, that's what we're going to call you from now on.
Yeah. Ward 9, Reed Hill. Jason Mancinelli. We still don't know about Jason Mancinelli.
Late Jace is what we're going to call you.
He's the incumbent. Jeff Soroka, who I'm pretty sure, he looks really familiar. I'm sure he's run before. And Tanis Wilder.
Okay.
Ward 8. There is a slight change here. Shannon Oral Bast is running against incumbent Shannon Zakidniak. But added to the race now is Alex Tack.
Alex Tack and his AI avatar.
Yeah, right. And his last name is spelled Tkach, if you're trying to find him.
Really? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yes, I've actually spoken to the man.
Oh.
That's what he told me. Now, maybe I'm wrong.
But maybe
it's Tkach.
Yeah, maybe he's wrong then.
Yeah, maybe he's having me on.
Maybe he's having. Maybe it's like he got an AI-generated version of his name.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Anyways. Ward 7. Abdi Gure, apologies, Abdi. Tarina Nelson is the incumbent, and Shubna Radons. Ward 6.
Oh, spooky.
Fawaz Adegoke.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a new name. I don't recognize that one. Glenn Douglas. I don't recognize that name either.
Huh.
So I think they're newish.
Heating up.
Victoria Flores, Julian Levy, and Corey Liebrecht, and David Whitrow.
Oh, my Lord.
I think Corey Liebrecht is new, too. So anyways, big field in Ward 6, and that is the ward that has been vacated by whom? Drat. I can't remember who was the it's LeBlanc, Councillor LeBlanc.
Right.
Who said he was running and then pulled the rug out underneath us.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Tricky Dan is what we call him.
Ward 5, Grant Yakubowski, Letitia Osterich, and Sarah Turnbull. That's Ward 5, and that also doesn't have an incumbent. Ward 4. This is the ward that Councillor Laurie Bresciani has vacated to run for mayor.
Right.
So that is Balvir Batal, Glenn Geiger, Danish Hassan, that's new, and Deb Nixai, Kofi Oni, and Charles Ume.
Wow, these are some crowded wards here.
Yeah. Ward 3, David Froh, Barry Wilkie. That is all.
Wow.
Ward 2, Saeed Hamid, Bob Hawkins, the incumbent, he is running again, Chidi Igwe, Andre Magnan, George Siklis. That is your race in Ward 2. Ward 1, running for council, we have Joanne Crawford, Jesse Morris, and Dan Rashovich.
Wow, Ward 1 for fun.
Yeah. And then for mayor, slight changes here. We've still got Chad Baczynski. We've still got Laurie Bresciani, who's the councillor. We still have Nathaniel Hooton, Kevin Kardash, Sandra Masters, and Bill Pratt, and Sean Sparvier. Let's not forget. They're all running. But Brian Abtusway has dropped out.
That is Brandon.
Dang it. Sorry, Brandon.
A little word about Brandon. We've been following Brandon's campaign.
We have.
Because he was the first. I think he was the first person to throw his hat in after Sandra Masters.
No, I think he beat Sandra Masters even.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was ahead of the gate, ahead of the curve. Straight out the gate.
Yeah.
And when we went to check on Brandon Abtusway, the one thing we noticed was that he had his Instagram, his personal Instagram, which he has since locked down, much to our disappointment, was almost nothing but cars.
Yeah.
The guy loves cars, and they're
loved his car.
All silver-colored cars. Some of them look quite nice. I don't even know. I
think it was all the same car.
Was it all? I thought there was a couple of different cars.
There might have been.
Yeah.
I didn't look at every single video and photo.
Well, so. Yeah, I understand. Although I did take a closer gander at one set of photos that had Christmas lights around the car.
Oh yeah, that was good.
It's like holiday celebration car.
Yeah.
So I had high hopes that
Me too.
he would usher in a motorist's paradise.
Hey, can I just say that I checked out his Facebook and his campaign website just before he shut it all down. I didn't know he was going to shut it down. I was just like reading campaign websites like I do. He was actually pretty thoughtful. His Facebook, he was like going around talking to people, finding out what their concerns were, expressing some like specific concerns in their community. And I was, sometimes you see people who run for mayor who you think it's purely an ego thing and they're not really paying attention.
Right.
Brandon, over the course of the months that he was running, was paying attention, and I think it did. It did reveal itself in his social media.
Cool. I know that initially when he announced he was running, Reddit was suspicious.
Reddit is very suspicious.
I mean, generally they're suspicious anyway, but the Regina subreddit sort of had their conspiracy radar went up immediately, and they're like, is this a legit candidate, or is Brandon Abtusway like a stealth candidate for Advance Regina? And then when you saw his campaign video, it's like he's not a stealth candidate for anyone. He's just a guy who wants to make a difference.
Yeah.
But if you go to Abtusway for mayor now, you'll see his announcement that he's dropped out of the race. And thanks Regina for being Regina.
And again, very thoughtful farewell letter to Regina.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So we really feel for Brandon.
Yeah, we do.
And so we prepared something.
You mainly did.
Yeah, I wrote a little song.
For Brandon Abtusway.
For Brandon Abtusway. And Paul's playing guitar. And
yes, I am.
Forgive my ability to stay in tune or keep on key.
Before we start, though, while we're setting up, we're on 91.3 FM, CJTR Regina Community Radio. We're the Queen City Improvement Bureau. And This is our song for Brandon and Tossway. Okay, you have to let me do the finger picking bit, because...
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Vroom, vroom.
Whoops.
Let's start. Let's do that again.
Yeah.
There we go. He's got some fast cars. Are they fast enough for Biab to sway? He had to make a decision. Keep on running or drive away. We never knew much about Brandon. Had a couple cars and he put them on the gram. Every single one was silver. Said he could pull the city out of a jam. I kinda hoped he'd win it. Stay in the race until final lap. But now that he's no longer in it, all of our streets could crumble and crack.
Go!
So, remember when we were running, when he ran for mayor, ran so quick it felt like it was an op. Got upset at curbs and holes and posed by trees outside his house. And I had a feeling he was planted there, but I guess that he was just some guy, just some guy, just some guy. Vroom, vroom. He's got some fast cars. Are they fast enough for Biab to sway? He had to make a decision. Keep on running or drive away. Drive away, Brandon. Drive away. Vroom, vroom.
No rehearsal.
None. And it doesn't even show.
That was awesome. Nice work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I started off a little shaky there, but I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you get to that IEI bit, you gotta really
Yeah.
put some.
You got to sell it.
Yeah, you got to put some.
Yeah.
Got to put some lung power into that one. Anyway,
Yeah.
well,
We learned that last night
Yes.
and literally did not rehearse.
We literally did not. Well, we tried. Well,
We did sort of
just
a run
before the
through
meeting.
right before the mics turned on.
Anyway, so just imagine how good it would be if we'd actually done any more prep
Practice.
at all.
But my philosophy of music is that it's called playing music, not practicing
That's a
music.
good point.
Yeah.
And my philosophy is singing is don't ever do it, because that's what happens.
Oh, no, you sounded great, actually. But my fingers were friggin' like mud.
Oh, nice. I just feel like the only thing I kind of mucked up the refrain there, but that's all right. That's okay.
It's all good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right on. All right, so that is our
And if that's our
election update.
right, and if you want to hear that song at our live show next May, just
Shout it out.
shout it out.
Yeah. If your name is Brandon, we'll play it twice.
We will.
Yeah.
Brandon, please come to our live show
Yeah.
at the Cathedral Village Arts Festival on May 21st, 2025.
And for the record, this is a one-off. We're not writing songs for every candidate that drops out. Actually, no, I take that back. I can think of if this would inspire some people to drop out.
Yep, exactly. Oh my God.
I'm going to start working on some songs. Anyways. Hey, so I hear you went to a movie.
I did an urban planning extravaganza.
Get out.
No,
I'm so jealous. I love urban planning movies.
Yeah, well, you will not be jealous about this one.
Really?
Because I went and saw Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, a Fable.
Megalopolis, a Fable? Is that really its name?
Megalopolis, a Fable.
Megalopolis, a Fable.
Megalopolis, a Fable.
And it was fabulous and fabilic?
It was fabilic, yeah. So, anyway, no, the movie is a mess, but it is about the building of, it's about art and many things, but it's also about the building of a city.
Yeah.
See, Adam Driver plays the main character, Caesar Catalina, the only hero named after 2 salad dressings.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, you'd think he wanted to build a ranch with 1,000 islands, but no, that didn't come up. And he lives in the city of New Rome, which is a combination of ancient Rome and New York City. And he wants to build a utopian city inside New York called Megalopolis.
Okay.
Out of a miracle material called megalon, which can also be used to rebuild bodies. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
It is a protein substance capable of realizing your vision, provided you have the vision and the discipline.
Yep.
He is opposed on the one hand, by the forces of tradition, represented by the mayor Franklin Cicero, played by Giancarlo Esposito.
Okay.
And also he has a cousin, played by Shia LaBeouf, named Claudio.
Okay.
Or Claudio.
You know it's a quality joint of Shia LaBeouf, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Shia LaBeouf may be one of the greatest things in this movie.
Oh, yeah?
He is utterly unhinged.
Yeah.
Clearly he said, "Can I do whatever I want, Francis?" And Francis was like, "Yes, Shia.
I trust you.
You may.
But not with my daughter."
Right. John Voight is also in the film.
Oh, my God.
And I think John Voight is going to be shocked when he realizes he was in this film. I think I'm pretty sure he's like, Francis invited me to come over to his estate, and I just partied it up. I think I killed somebody at some point. Hope that doesn't get out. And then he's going to see that he was in Megalopolis of Fable. Anyway, so Caesar is the leader of the Design Authority of New York.
Okay.
Which gives him license to blow up a lot of buildings.
Oh, God.
But he goes through many trials and tribulations. But in the end, he builds his Megalopolis, which looks maybe like the worst amber jewelry you've ever seen. That's the only way I can put it. But on a citywide scale, that when you look at it, you can't imagine how it even has any sort of homes inside it to contain, but has moving sidewalks. And people travel around in little bubbles. And at the end, I'm spoiling some parts of Megalopolis.
I'm not going.
Yeah, okay. Really? Oh, man, I thought I was selling it. He's surrounded by the hoi polloi of New York City, and they're angry partly because he's blown up all their homes, and he gives a big speech standing atop his buildings of Megalon about how we have to have a great debate about the future of this country, and then everybody claps, and she wins.
Really?
Yes.
That is the movie?
That's. I can't.
This isn't like the halfway point before the intermission?
Nope, there is no intermission.
So
every scene is a different movie, frankly.
Wow.
So
I was waiting for the movie part to start. I thought you were just giving me all
the background.
Yeah, and the introduction stuff.
I literally just. Well, I gave you the setup and then I told you the end.
The Design Authority.
Design Authority.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he can stop time.
Oh, that's an important.
Yeah, it's important.
Detail.
I mean, plot-wise, it doesn't mean anything, but it's emblematic of his ability as a visionary and an artist.
Up until that moment, everything you said made me think this guy, Coppola, has had nothing to do with city planning or a city council meeting, but somebody who can stop time.
Wow.
He's been to a city council meeting.
Exactly. You would think so. There is no city council, it seems, or we certainly don't seem to get any city council. There's the mayor, there's design authority guy, and then, John Voight plays the head of the bank, Crassus. Oh, and Aubrey Plaza.
I love Aubrey Plaza.
She's great. She, along with Shia LaBeouf, she plays WoW Platinum.
Oh, my God.
And
that sounds like a cryptocurrency.
Kind of. It's actually a dirty joke, which they obliquely referenced in the film. Nobody I've seen, in the reviews I've read has figured this out. Unfortunately, I twigged to it, and I wish I hadn't.
Right.
And I'm not even going to repeat what the dirty joke is about on air. But yeah.
Okay.
It's just, yep.
Speaking of, That was a non sequitur. Speaking of being on air, we have to go off air for like 2 minutes.
For some innovative revenue tools. Very nice.
Yeah. Here we go. Woo.
You
pledge allegiance to what?
Humanity.
Really?
Yeah, well, the Megalopolis does.
Yeah.
It says, like a plaque that says, like literally a plaque that says, pledge allegiance to humanity.
So,
which I think is quite the sentiment.
What was he getting at?
Oh, he wanted to make a grand statement about the world.
Okay.
And modern politics.
Okay.
How we spend too much time being sort of distracted by frivolous stuff when we should be talking.
Movies.
Like movies.
2 hour, 50-minute movies.
Right. There's also a great bit where he. I won't do this. People should perhaps watch the movie without me talking about all the plot details.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he wants a great debate, but it's pretty clear that the debate is constrained by what an aging stoned boomer thinks the great debate should be.
Okay.
Which is listening to like visionary artist dude. So, and there are women in the film too.
Oh, good for Francis.
Yeah. There's some that are jerks to him.
Yeah.
And as Aubrey Plaza, and there are some that love him, played by Natalie Emmanuel. The daughter of the mayor, Franklin Cicero, causes a rift.
Oh, no.
But he hires her first, so he's sleeping with his employee.
This sounds dreadful.
It does. It is dreadful.
The clips that I've seen and the trailers, they make it look like an Atlas Shrugged adaptation.
Well, with the miracle building material Megalon, it does have aspects of like an inverted Ayn Rand.
Right.
But a liberal-leaning Ayn Rand.
Huh.
So...
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Won't see. Thumbs down.
But maybe somewhere, maybe there is a cut that would make sense of it, but that cut would have to be 2 to 3 times as long.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, what lessons can we take from it to the Queen City?
Oh, we need a design authority lead.
You know, there's actually a lot of people in Cathedral who've been demanding that.
Right.
They want Adam Driver.
They want Adam Driver to at one point it was supposed to be Oscar Isaac, which would also have been good.
Yeah.
But yes, get Adam Driver in there to bring in his miracle material Megalon.
Yeah.
To create what looks like cheap amber jewelry, but on a citywide scale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I won't tell you what the material is derived from, partly because I don't want to spoil it, partly because it's dumb, and also partly because
is it cubic wombat turds?
It has a biological.
It's wombat turds.
I wish that would be better. But the third reason I won't describe it is because it's described so obliquely and poorly in the film.
Okay.
As if they just forgot to finish a sentence, that I'm not even sure if I'm correct.
Oh, is it Tears of Misunderstood Filmmakers?
That's also... Wombat Turds was closer, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
But pretty good. But Tears of Misunderstood Filmmakers is not bad.
Okay.
Because nobody understands the torture genius at the heart of the film.
Right.
Who is obviously Francis Ford Coppola.
So, okay, I'm not going to keep asking questions about a movie I haven't seen.
I'm actually kind of curious what else you want, because I will tell you anything you need to know.
Is it basically, I don't even know, is it fan fiction? But I don't know what it would be a fandom of.
Might be fan fiction. Well, he mixes in a lot of Shakespeare, and by mixing in a lot of Shakespeare, I mean when Adam Driver shows up at a city planning meeting, which is also a big media event, because everybody loves city planning meetings in this world. He literally recites Hamlet's soliloquy, the to be or not to be one.
Really? Nothing pretentious about that.
Nothing, and it makes no sense, because why would he show up and like do a monologue about contemplating suicide?
Right.
Because he's clearly showing off. It makes no sense. And at one point, somebody's like, "Is somebody going to stop him?" And somebody else is like, "No." Like, wow. And to be fair, Driver makes a real meal out of the to be or not to be soliloquy.
Okay.
But it makes no sense in the context. And and there's a lot of Roman sort of stuff thrown in. So there's some Ovid, there's some Plutarch, so it is kind of like a fan fiction mashup of classical literature and Shakespeare and stuff.
See, if I'm going to go see like an adaptation or like something that lifts from Shakespeare like that, I'm just going to watch Strange Brew.
Yeah, that's a
fine film.
That is a fine film and an excellent adaptation of Hamlet.
Yeah. Anyways, we should carry on with our agenda.
Yes.
Because things have happened.
Things keep happening. Everything happens so much.
Maybe if we had a design authority, these things wouldn't happen. Maybe if city administrators were rock stars, this wouldn't happen.
They could just blow up parts of the city, and then if people got upset, just replace it with Megalon.
Yeah, give a speech. These don't work in real life.
Right.
And we actually have an example from real life.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So what we have going on right now is the 10 years of city planning is being, it's either been sabotaged or in the process of being sabotaged or being rescued from sabotage right now. Now, anybody who's been paying attention to Regina city politics will probably remember that when Mayor Masters ran to be mayor, as she is now, it was on a promise to get an indoor aquatic center finally built. And we are 4 years later, after she made that promise, and it is coming down to a vote in the very last council meeting of Mayor Masters for this first term of hers. If it is her, it could be her last term.
But maybe not.
But but whatever. This was her promise. She's going to build the Indoor Aquatic Center, and it's a nail-biter of a final meeting.
Wow.
We were getting really close at one point. And as everybody will also remember, like back in 2022, the city administration was ready to go. They had done the sort of like high-level concept plans. They had like 3 options for the city to choose from, for city council to choose from, but they were pretty much ready to go. They just needed approval to move on to the detailed design and scoping phase. And they didn't get that because instead we got the entire Indoor Aquatic Center project thrown into pandemonium and turned into a catalyst project. And we didn't even know where it was going to be. It was existing at the yards and at the Taylor Field site simultaneously until the catalyst report. Yes, there was a superposition. And then we opened up the catalyst report and said, go with the original location. So that's where we were. And then city administration did their detailed design, and they were like, hey, guys, 2 things. We ran into a couple snags. First of all, excuse me, we did the scoping, and all of this stuff cost way more than we thought. $40 million more than we thought. And also, there's been a whole bunch of inflation since we did those first guesses about how much this would cost. So it's coming in $80 million more. So a $160 million project was turned into a $240-something million project. I may be doing the math wrong here. But anyways, $40 million of construction inflation contributed to this. So council got upset. They did not like this new bill. And then they found out that the current Lawson building, there was no requirement for them to tear it down, which they thought was going to be a requirement if they got federal money. They did get federal money, by the way, from the Green Fund. So it's to facilitate the sustainability of our pool facility. Yeah, but when council found out that they could keep the Lawson if they wanted, Councillor Bresciani's eyes lit up. And what Councillor Bresciani has been angling for ever since is, let's invest money in the Lawson to fix it up, and then let's build the Indoor Aquatic Centre somewhere else. Perhaps in the suburbs?
What?
Which the ward that Councillor Bresciani comes from is the suburban ward in the east.
Yes.
And she's convinced that there is regional development money that they could get from the province to contribute to this. And this would be money to cover the fact that the pool serves like White City and Emerald Park and other like regional powers.
Right.
And they do not contribute to our tax base. No. They don't contribute to the cost of this. So she wants to get this money.
Right. So, like, she wants to serve communities that contribute nothing to the city.
Yeah.
So
get provincial money is the idea.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So anyways, I wanted to play just, like, I've got like a big clip here, because this debate was mad. And it went on for a very long time. This is the administration response to that. And I'm just going to play part of it, but it is interesting. And here we go.
Through the chair, thanks for that question, and I'll try and go in order. If I forget anything, please remind me. Yes, the costs are different than what we talked about last time when we discussed the Lawson, which was some weeks ago now. In this memo that you've all received, we updated it with inflation numbers. Some of the numbers we were using previous were from some of the initial feasibility studies a couple of years ago and some estimates. A lot of work has been done by the team to go through and validate that these numbers are the best estimates we can provide you for these scenarios today. So that's the change in the numbers. And it's inflationary, basically, is the change. We have not done any further work on scenarios around the Lawson other than updating these particular items and costs. Scenario 1 and scenario 2 gain some useful life for the building, obviously at a cost. Now those are estimates, and we do note design scope clarity and, the plus or minuses still apply, but as they do to all projects. So, equal basis there. I think the thing for in our view is, could you put some money into the Lawson and get some more useful life out of it? We believe you could. We believe it will have operational challenges. The risks are higher given the age of the facility, the initial design. So it will, on an operating basis, it's an older building. You're making some improvements to it. And they will be much like a used car versus a brand new car. You may have higher maintenance costs on a used car that you put some improvements to it. It's not a great analogy, but that would be the summary of our thinking. Also, the challenge there is some of these improvements would require a fair amount of work to the Lawson, closing it down for some period of time, many months to over a year, depending on which scenario we pick here. And in every one of these scenarios, with exception of 2 and 3, you're getting that 10 to 15 years for
25.
Quite a less than an IAF, yes. But if we're talking about this and then in addition another building, either the current design or redesign, there's a lot of cost there. And going back to the original feasibility discussion, the discussions that administration had this spring, March, April, May, that time period around when the condition around the federal funding changes, does it make sense to go back to the Lawson? From a practical perspective, given the building and its age and the fact that it's had water in it for all that time in a 1960s design, you introduce some risk. Yes, we can do it, but it introduces some risk. From an operational perspective, operating that facility.
I was going to fade that out here. This goes on quite a bit longer. I think I more wanted to just show it or play it to show how administration knows what they're talking about.
Right.
And they've already done the work on the idea of saving the Lawson and rejected that idea. And you can hear the administration there talking about risk. And basically they've given Councillor Bresciani a guess of about $61 million to upgrade the Lawson so that you can get another 20 to 25 years of life out of it. But at the same time, you still have the foundation of that building is still an old building, and it would not be a modern facility with modern amenities. It would just be the Lawson Plus. And he points out risk, and this is something that I don't know if council is paying enough attention to. Risk is the thing that turns a $160 million pool into a $245 million pool. Like, administration has been clear that once they go in there and start, tearing things open, because there's stuff in the Lawson building they haven't looked at in 70 years. And they're going to start finding bigger problems than they know about right now. And they also pointed out that the Lawson will have to be closed to do this renovation. And the whole idea of the IAF, the Indoor Aquatic Facility, was that the Lawson would stay open while that was being built. And then when the IAF opened, the Lawson would be decommissioned. And they provided one other option for the Lawson, which is pave over, like get rid of the pool, fill it in, turn it into a non-aquatic center. So administration has run all these numbers, and they've run them past council over and over and over again. They've also pointed out that the federal money that we're getting to support this build that is making this somewhat affordable for us, we could lose that, because this is not money to renovate the Lawson. This is to build a new indoor aquatic facility at the Lawson site. So moving the indoor aquatic facility to somewhere else at some point in the future does not guarantee we'll get federal money. But this washes over Councillor Bresciani completely unheeded. And by the end of the meeting, or this portion of the meeting, she brings forward a motion. And it's to get a report on options and potential funding sources to repair the Lawson Aquatic Centre and therefore facilitate its continued operation into the future, and to constructing a new aquatic centre that is large enough to host national level events and competitions in an area of the city where that facility could be eligible for regional economic dollars and sponsorship opportunities. So this is her desire to shift it to the suburbs, where it's closer to Emerald Park.
Right, but I mean, but this regional money she's talking about is by no means, it's not even as if it's by no means guaranteed. It doesn't exist as far as we know, right? But the federal money does exist.
Yes, 100%.
So instead of doing a sure thing and keeping the Lawson open while she wants to just gamble on some complete unknown?
Yes. In the name of fiscal responsibility.
For something that will almost certainly cost more because it'll be in the future?
Yeah.
So this person wants to be our mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did some thinking about just some back of the napkins made-up math, which is what we're dealing with here, is made-up math.
I know. Yes.
City administration has said $61 million to fix up the Lawson for Councillor Bresciani. All of our estimates, when they do the detailed design, the updated estimates are coming back close to double what we started with. So $61 million, we could be looking at a year from now when they've worked out how to renovate the Lawson and have done a detailed design and started digging into the building. That could be $120 million.
Of course.
And we still don't have an indoor aquatic facility built. That still has yet to be done. Current estimate for that is $245 million. So you add 120 to that 245, that puts us at 360. But that 245 is for this year right now. They have to go through the whole process of coming up with a new design, a new location, new schematics, new siting, which is going to take a year, and it's going to take a year and more money to do all of this work. And that year of construction inflation and whatever obstacles they face at their new location could bring that 245 up past 300 million. So we could be looking at $120 million to upgrade the Lawson, over 300, well over 300, to build this new indoor aquatic facility. So Councillor Bresciani basically wants to trade one new indoor aquatic facility that we're pretty much ready to go on for 2 projects we know practically nothing about that will cost, 50% more, or, $500 million possibly.
But, you'll curry
But we'll get 2 pools, maybe.
And we'll curry the favor of wealthy bedroom community dwellers who don't contribute tax to the tax base. This is a terrible idea.
I agree, and we'll find out next week if this goes anywhere. I'm hoping that it doesn't. So far, a lot of these plans, these schemes of Councillor Bresciani's don't go too far lately. Because what happened was she brought this motion, and it was ruled out of order because this report about the pool was a receive and file. Normally, if you have a receive and file, the mover will say, if you want to make an amendment to do something with this information, I'm okay with that. Bob Hawkins moved that receive and file, and he was like, no, this is a receive and file. This will remain a receive and file. I do not accept this amendment. So the amendment was ruled out of order.
Good.
So that put that off till next week, because now at the council meeting, Councillor Bresciani has announced that she'll be making this motion, so it's coming. So she retracted it, but bringing it back on Wednesday. Later this same meeting. Oh, by the way, we're on 91.3 FM CJTR, Regina Community Radio. We're the Queen City Improvement Bureau, talking about mega projects going awry.
Megalopolis projects.
The baseball stadium is back.
It's back.
Yeah.
It never went anywhere. It's just seemed to be gone. But it has risen.
Yeah, so what's happened here is they have to now put together this lease with the Red Sox, where the Red Sox and this company, Living Sky Entertainment, that seems to own the Red Sox or is associated with the Red Sox, they're going to take over a long-term lease on Curry Field, which is the baseball field in the north of the city, where the Red Sox play their games. And they will be getting $100,000 or more a year from the city to do upgrades to Curry Field.
Delightful.
Yeah. Now, these upgrades have to be community upgrades, so upgrades that the community can use. They can't build a spa for the Red Sox players,
right,
and get that covered by this $100,000.
This has to have some widespread benefit to the community.
A clause that has to go in here because of a motion from council is that the Red Sox can get reimbursed for these capital improvements if the city goes ahead with a new baseball facility at either the Yards or Taylor Field. And whether or not we're going to get one of these things is dependent upon another report that's coming, and it's a philanthropic feasibility study, which is testing the waters to see if there are philanthropes. Is that what they're called?
Philanthropists.
Thank you. I like philanthrope better.
Philanthropes are the people who love philanthropists.
Right. Anyways, these philanthropists, if there's enough to get $1 million, I think it is, towards this baseball stadium, the city's committed to kick in 10.
Cool.
And if it's at the Yards or Taylor Field, then the Red Sox will get reimbursed. Councillor Stevens, has pointed out, hey, wait a second, what if we, or the next council, decides that neither of these places are suitable for a baseball facility?
What then?
If this lease gets negotiated the way we're instructing, the Red Sox will not get reimbursed for any of their improvements. And turns out, though, that it would be out of order for them to change the instruction to administration to include or at any mutually acceptable location. And the other problem that this has created is that currently nothing can happen at Taylor Field or the Yards. No plans can be made until they make a decision about whether or not to put a baseball diamond there. And city administration is actually doing work right now to figure out how to fit a baseball diamond on these two sites. So staff time is going into this. And this is where we are. So as this passed, the lease is going to go ahead with a wink and a nudge to say the lease that you actually negotiate, not the one we've instructed you to, should, be more broad for the benefit of Red Sox. Anyways, this has slowed everything down. So yeah, this has all happened. Also, the day before, there was a special council meeting considering the library. That was a whole schlemazel. We can talk about that another time because we're pretty much out of time.
I do want to mention one thing, though, before we go. Shia LaBeouf, his character is named Claudio, but his sisters, I believe, are Claudine and Claudette, and they're spelled properly, like Claudine, C-L-A-U-D.
Yeah.
But he's Claudio. It's not Claudio. He's Claudio.
That's just wrong.
It was maddening.
Yeah.
It was the most maddening thing. Also, his and you even know because there's signs. People are holding picket signs with his name on them, and his last name is Pulcher because his election slogan is "Pulcher for the culture." It is so dumb.
Oh my God! I wish there was some of that Coppola spice in our election, though.
I agree.
We should probably wrap it up.
Toss way is the boss way. Anyway, okay. Yes, should we move to adjourn?
I would second that motion.
All right. Motion is carried. Meeting is adjourned. You have been listening to the Queen City Improvement Bureau on 91.3 FM, CJTR, Regina Community Radio, tuned into the community. We are broadcast Thursday evenings, 7 to 8 p.m. Rebroadcast Monday afternoons, 3 to 4 p.m. Your hosts are Paul Deschen in Morgan, music by Guidewire, a.k.a. Ryan Hill, and this episode also by us. Thank you, Tracy Chapman. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah, coming up next is the Record Room, and then there's music all on through the night. You can find us, cjtr.ca, our website, queencityab.com, on x.com, and Blue Sky. That is all. Keep on improving.